Vasudevaya. Narayanam namaskritya naram chaiva narottamam devim saraswatim vyasam tato jayamudirayet nashtaprayeshvabhadreshu nityam bhagavata sevaya bhagavatyuttamaśloke Bhaktir bhavati naistiki. Hare Krishna. So we were discussing yoga rudaha. That means after getting a detachment, so he has to follow yamas and niyamas, and also he has to approach guru. So fifth sloka is over.
This yoga ruda words you use for only the yogis, or even devotees also that same word can be
Devotees
used?
will have ananya bhakti. We don't use the yoga ruda.
Yoga ruda means just that person is trying
Enter
to
into the he reached the yoga. Yoga rudaha. Aruda means he climbed into yoga. That means yoga ruruksha means who tries to climb yoga, and yoga ruda means who climbed. Yoga rudaha, what he will do? What is the karanam uchyate? Shamah karanam uchyate. For the yoga ruruksha, karma karanam uchyate. So yoga ruruksha means who wants to climb path of yoga. So for him, karma is the prescribed. Karma is prescribed to him. He has to do karma and offer that to the Lord. And yoga rudaha, so then he got the detachment and he climbed yoga path. Climbed means he entered, he reached. Yes, he has desire to practice the yoga. Yes. Sthita prajna is the who got the detachment. So is yoga rudaha is sthita prajna. It means he will be not affected by the results of the karma. Dukkhe shanadignamanaha sukheshu vegata spruha vetaraga bhayakrodaha. So that means such a yoga rudaha, what he has to do? He has to follow the yama and niyama, but he doesn't need to follow kamya karma. Pravrittam. So kamya karma, that means fruitive activities he will never do. And in that too also yamas are compulsory, niyamas are yatha shakti, as much as possible. So that much he has to do. Okay. This. Then after that, how many slokas are? 6 or 5? 6 sloka. Okay. So we will start with 6 sloka. Amanyamatsaro daksho nirmamo druda sauhrudaha asatvarorta jignasur anasuyur amoghavak. Translation: the servant or disciple of the spiritual master should be free from false prestige, never consider himself to be the doer, He should be active and never lazy, and should give up all sense of proprietorship over the objects of the senses, including his wife, children, home, and society. He should be endowed with feelings of loving friendship toward the spiritual master and should never become deviated or bewildered. The servant or disciple should always desire advancement in spiritual understanding, should not envy anyone, and should always avoid useless conversation. So, what? So he got the detachment from the what? From the fruits of the activities. That's fruitive activities. So that means, but what about the family? He got detachment from them. Okay, family also. What he should do, family? What that means? Now he got detachment from for the fruits of his activities. Then he is now to live. He is now qualified to live the karma, fruitive karma. So what about that? That means he has to what? How he has to respond with the family members and other things. So that is explained here. So he has to now fully take the shelter of Guru, and how he has to maintain his consciousness towards the other things. So is being explained now here. We'll be seeing step by step. So first of all, what is said in this sloka? Amani. Amani means without false ego. Amatsaraha. Amatsaraha means without any envious. And dakshaha, being expert. Nirmama. The important word is nirmama. Without any nirmama, mamatvam. That means proprietorship. Druda sauhrudaha. Asatvaraha. So druda sauhrudaha. That means so being fixed in the mood of loving friendship. That means druda sauhruda means he is always guru to druda sauhruda. That means welfare of the guru. Druda sauhrudaha. And asatvaraha. Asatvaraha. So asatvara means avyagraha. Avyagraha. Avyagraha means not being what is that here? Material passion, bewildered due to material passion. And next, amoghava means verdha, verdalaparahitaha. Amoghava, nonsense, not speaking of any nonsense things. Etanyeva shishya lakshanani gneyani. These are the qualities of the disciple. That means yoga rudaha, who reached the yoga. So that person now, so he has to learn now yoga. And for that he need guru. And in front of that guru, he has to be he has to be disciple. How he has to behave as a disciple is being explained here. Nanu swajayadishu katam nirmamah syat tatraha. So now Purvapakshi is asking, okay, in this one of the quality is nirmamaha. That means he is not having any proprietorship on wife, house, children, relatives, and his village and everything. So he is not having any mamatvam. How it is? How it is possible? Katam syat. Then that is explained. So audhasinya hetuhu vivekam darsheti atmanah ata prayojanam sarvatra samam. Your passion. Okay, anyway, that is next sloka it is going. This numbering is not given here, I think. That is 7th. Okay, these are the qualities of these kind of characteristics he has to maintain. Now, purport, no one can claim to be a permanent proprietor of his so-called wife, family, home, society, and so on. Such material relationships appear and disappear like bubbles on the surface of the ocean. No one can claim to be the creator of the material elements that produced one's home, society, and family. If it were a fact that parents were the ultimate creators of the bodies of their children, children would never die before their parents. The parents would simply create new bodies for the children. Logic. If parents are the creators, then parents will create the new body for the children. Similarly, parents would also not die because they would create new bodies for themselves to replace the old ones. That means if parents are creators, then children will not die anytime, and also parents also will not die because they can create their own body. So actually, God creates everyone's bodies as well as the material elements with which we build our material societies. Therefore, before death drags these things out of our grasp, we should voluntarily engage them in the loving service of the spiritual master, who is a bona fide representative of the Lord Krishna. Then such material objects, instead of causing lamentation, will be the cause of happiness. Okay, in this sloka, what is the main point you have to understand? Nirmamaha. That is a point. That means one should not be a feeling proprietary himself on all these things. So because he has to leave home also now. It's not that he should sit in the, because Gnanis, they will leave home also. And now my wife, I can leave my, because he got the detachment, but he has to detach from the family and other relatives and so on so also. So that's why the word nirmama is said. Then how to achieve that nirmamaha? That means that not having the proprietorship. That is explained in the next sloka, 7th sloka. Jaya patya gruha kshetra swajana dravinadishu udasinaha samam pashyan sarveshvarthamivatmanaha. Translation: one should see one's real self interest in life in all circumstances and should therefore remain detached from wife, children, home, land, relatives, friends, wealth, and so on. So here, how to get that nirmamaha, that point is being explained in this sloka. In the previous sloka, nirmama is there. So that is said, you see. Audasinya hetum vivekam. What is the, so how to maintain that non-proprietorship? Audasinyam. Being udasinaha. That means you should be neutral with the wife, children, and also with others' wife, with the children and whole. He is udasina. Others' wife, others' children, others' whole society. He is all, with all of them, he is neutral. So, but that how that udasinata will come? The nirmama means becoming neutral, non-proprietorship. Then how that udasinata will come? That will come by the, you see, samam pashyan. How one can be neutral with his family members and also others also. How it is possible? That is possible by samam pashyan. That means equally seeing everyone, treating everyone equal. Atmanah artham prayojana sarvatra samam iva. So that is good for him. Pashyanit ayam bhavah सर्वदेहेषु आत्मनः एकत्वात् जायादि देहे अस्मिन् च स्वदेहे आत्मनः अर्थः सुखादिः समः एव केन विशेषेण एतेषु एव ममत्वाभिनिवेश इत्येवम् उदासीनः सन् गुरुं प्रपद्येत इति. That means in every body there is atma, soul, and that is equal. So in your body soul is there, in their body also there, and everyone's body is soul is there. Ekatvat jayadi dehe asmin swadehe. That means in his wife and his body, in everyone's body, atmanah artha sukadihi samah eva. So that means in everyone's body, Sukadihi samaha. All these pain and pleasure and so on, all are equal in everyone. Kena visheshena eteshu eva mamatva abhinivesha. Ityevam. But because of some visheshena, because of something, so we are visheshena teshu eva mamatva abhinivesha. So one is getting the so mine because of the some reason. That means kena visheshena eteshu eva mamatva. Or that means actually everyone, in everyone's body, soul is only there, atma is there, and also everyone's pain and pleasure are equal in, but because of some special thing, so I got, that means the proprietorship on someone. So like that he is thinking udasinah san, that means so being neutral, gurum prapadyeta, he has to surrender to his spiritual master. Like that Sridhar Swami said. So let us see in the to be more clear actually in the so jiveshu. So here Srila Jiva Goswami is writing madabhignam iti igmaham jayadishu udasinah mamata avishesham abhavayan yatah sarveshu jiveshu sukarupam dukkahani rupam va artham atmanah iva. So pashyan vanchan yatah samamcha pashyanniti. So that means, like you have seen in the case of the Kanishtadhikari, so Kapila Bhagavan is saying, so Udarabedam, you know, so my hunger is hunger, so other hunger is not hunger. So like this, so some ignorant devotees, that neophyte devotees, so they don't give the respect to the others. So then what is recommended? What is the Kanishtadhikari's problem? Kanishtadhikari's problem is he is seeing the Lord in the deities only, but not in the other living entities. So why he is not seeing? Because so he is not having that knowledge. So then what is recommended for him? So he should not see any Udara Bedam. That means, so my hunger is hunger and others' hunger is not hunger. So what he has to do? He has to, that means, be equal with the other living entities also, and he has to serve other living entities with the knowledge of Lord is that body is the adhisthana of that Lord, and like that he is, with that knowledge he has to serve other living entities. By that what will happen? He will be started understanding the Paramatma is there in every living entity, which is desired by the, that means which Uttamadhikari is generally is having this conception. So same here also, in the same way, here also what is said, he has to see, that means dukkam and sukham. That means, so in his case, how he is so seeing the sukham and also dukkha nivritti, dukkha hani rupam artham atmanah iva. So for his case, he is thinking dukkha nivritti and so sukha prapti, sukha rupam dukkha hani rupam va artham. So atmanah iva pashyan vanchan. That means he is also thinking for everyone like that. So for everyone also dukkha hani and so sukham. So for them also sukham they should get. So like that he will be maintaining equality among everyone. So how he is thinking for himself, he will be thinking for others also like that. Vanchan. So in this way he will be getting the equalness. So he will be getting the equalness among the everyone. So like that it is explained here by the Srila Jiva Goswami. So that's why one should see one's self-interest in life of all circumstances and should therefore remain detached from. So that means self-interest in life, in all circumstances, one should see one's real self-interest in life in all circumstances, and should therefore remain detached from wife, children, home, land, relatives, friends, wealth, and so on. Purport: a devotee of the Lord recognizes that his wife, children, home, land, friends, and money are meant to be engaged in the loving service of the Supreme Lord. Therefore, he doesn't what is it? Frantically make arrangements for the sense gratification of his family and friends. He is not eager to enjoy the false prestige of being a master of his wife and lord of his children, nor is is he anxious to gain prestige from his friends and society. Thus, he doesn't envy anyone and is not lazy in the matter of self-relation. He is free from the false sense of proprietorship and is always eager to develop his understanding of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is free from false egotism and automatically turns away from useless materialistic conversation. Thus, he is steady and without whimsical, and he is always firmly situated in loving relationship at the lotus feet. So, his devotee's case is explaining. So the question may be arised as to how one can develop the freedom from false proprietorship. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur has given the following example. An ordinary man is very eager to accumulate more and more money, and he maintains his wealth in the form of the stocks, bonds, securities, bank accounts, proprietaries, gold, and so on. As long as these assets are contributing to his financial well-being, he sees them equally and considers that they belong to him. But if some of his assets are taken by the government for taxes, or if they are lost in an unfortunate business arrangement, then he is forced to give up his sense of proprietorship. In the same way, everyone should be intelligent enough to observe that one's sense of ownership over innumerable material objects is not permanent. Therefore, one should develop detachment from these things. If one doesn't cultivate a loving feeling of friendship for the Supreme Personality of Godhead and his pure devotee, the spiritual master, one will undoubtedly be entangled by the network of material society, friendship, and love. One will then remain bound up on the material platform with no hope of permanent happiness. So actually here it is given, that's how devotee so has to behave, but how to maintain that one, that means equality among everyone, and how to leave this attachment or this proprietorship and wife and these things. So Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is given even more elaborately actually. So in the case of Jiva Goswami, what he is saying that, so like how we have the so our case we see, in the same way you have to see others case also. So then automatically you will be getting the equality. In that way you have to so see the equal among everyone. That is the one logic. But here, if you see in the Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's explanation how to get the that udasinata, that means seeing the equal among everyone. Samam passion, that means seeing everyone, everything is equal. That how it is achieved, it is said here. So if, for example, so someone is having the gold, some money, that means, and also some kind of assets and all this, so he will be seeing everything as a wealth. Yes or no? Everything as wealth he will see. Even if he's having gold, he's having the other things, money or the land or the cows or minerals, everything he see in the form of course they are all different, but they will see it as a money only, na. Dhanamiva samam pashyan, rupa dhanamiva samam pashyan, tat yatha vyavaharik yavat yasya karagatam syat tavadeva tasya mamataspadam natu sarvada. So that is, he is seeing everything as equal, and whenever it is in his hand, he see it is his own, and whenever it is going to others hand, then he will be seeing that as others only. So now 10 rupees you have in your pocket, that is yours, and whenever it is going to the other's hand, then you are saying that, you think, do you have any feeling for that? No, you are believing that. That means yavat, that means till what time it is with you. So that is, so yavat yasya karagatam syat tavadeva tasya mamataspadam natu sarvadeva. So tattadevam jayadikamapi tatra mamatayaha anaikantikatva darshanat nirmamata. So this is thing. That means, are nothing is mine, because these 10 rupees are now in my hand. So if it is going to the another hand, now it is not mine. and after that it is going to the another hand, it is not his, and it is going to another's one, and like that it is keep on going to everyone, one by one, one by one. So that means it is mine till it is in my hand. So that's why, and also this wife or these children are mine till they are in my control. That, and after that in the next life they are the other's wife, and in the next life they are another's wife. So what is this? So that means nothing is permanent. Then why I have to have any special attachment? So like this, with this principle, he will be getting the nothing is mine. Leave it. Understood? This is the logic. Example is given. Chitraketu's example. Chitraketu's son. The Chitraketu Maharaj, he went actually. So that son left immediately after the 1 crore wives he is having, and he was not having the one child also. So finally, after the what is that? What he did, tapasya he did, or is something? How he got child? He got child. By blessing, so he got one son, and after that son also, so he was given his poison actually by other co-wives of that his mother, that boy's mother, because they are envious, because Lord is, so Chitraketu is giving so much importance to her, and they killed her. They killed him, that boy. Then Chitraketu Maharaj collapsed, and he was very much worried. So then, so Narada Muni once again comes, actually, and so he will take to him to that place, so where that boy is there. Then, so that boy gives, "Who are you?" So then that boy says that, "Who are you?" So which father you are? I have so many fathers in the previous life, and in which life you are my father? So like that. So he will be saying the same logic actually. So you are thinking that mother. So this life she is mother, and next life who is your mother? And in the previous life whose mother she is? And you are thinking she is wife, and in his life she is your wife. So in the previous life she is other's wife, and like this. So with this principle, one will be seeing the, so that means one become the neutral. That means udasinaha, and he leaves. He leaves the all the family. So anyway, purport is written in the devotional way. That is okay. That is not there actually in the. That is not the context actually. That is our like following like Bhakti and the purports. They are also trying to follow. So loving relationship with the Lord is not at all said here, because Gnani is not at all having any loving relationship with the Lord. No, that's not the context. Even Sir Vishwanath Thakur also didn't write. So he's just the logic he gave. That means this is how to become neutral with this wife, family, wife, and so on. So. Like that. That is. Okay, next. Vilakshana stula sukshmya देहादात्मेक्षिता स्वदृक् यथाग्निर्दारुणो दाह्यात् दाहकोऽन्यः प्रकाशकः. Translation: just as fire which burns and illuminates is different from firewood which is to be burned to give illumination, similarly the seer within the body, the self enlightened spirit soul, is different from the material body which is to be illuminated by consciousness. Thus the spirit soul and the body possess different characteristics and are separate entities. Vilakshanah stula sukshmyat dehat atmekshita swadruk yatha agnir daruno dahya dahako anyah prakashaha. So what is the, now that yoga rudaha, that means he is under the control of under the, so guru. So what he has to leave completely attachment for the family. For that he used this logic. With this knowledge he will be detaching. And also next what he has to do, he has to see self, atma. So not the, that means he has to see atma different from the body. So that is the next point. So vilakshanaha, that means different from what? Stula sukshma deha, that means different from the subtle and gross body. Atma, that means he has to see. So the different one, what is that? That is atma, different from this gross and subtle bodies. Ikshita, that means he has to see. So Sridhar Swami is saying, so aho kosau dehadi vyatiriktah atma yasya ekadartah sarveshu samahasya tamaha. Kohasau dehadi vyatirika atma. So Sridhar Swami's logic is what? Sridhar Swami is saying that everyone he is seeing the atma. So in that way he is coming to the neutrality, udasinata. So now according to him, if you go according to his commentary, so then how to see that atma? So what is this atma? So that thing is said here. According to, if you follow his commentary lines, so then so one can make in the previous sloka, so one can make neutrality, udasinata, he can maintain neutrality by seeing the atma in everyone, so that everyone is equal, everyone is, so then he will become neutral with, like how he with the other living entities, he will be the same way with the wife also. So like that he will get the neutrality and he can leave the home, his attachment. That is the logic actually given by the, so yeah, Sridhar Swami. So now how to see that atma? So that is explained here. Stula sukshma deha dvayad atma anyaha. That means atma is different from the stula and sukshma. Dvedha vailakshanu darsheti. That means, so what is that difference then? How to differentiate and see? Atma is a seer, ikshita. That means, so ikshita means drashta. That means he's a seer. So in this sloka also you see atma is what he said, ikshita. Ikshita means seer. And next drushyadi, seer is different from the seen. So atma is a seer and body is the seen. Swaprakashascha, that means this atma is a seer and also swadruk means he is seeing himself. That means swayam prakasha, like the lamp is there, lamp is illuminating the other objects and also it is illuminating itself. In a dark room, if you keep a lamp, so whatever the objects are surrounding to that lamp, you will be seeing all those. That means it is illuminating other objects. And to see that lamp, do you need another lamp? No, that lamp itself is sufficient. So that's why what? So lamp is illuminating itself and also it is illuminating others. Similarly, atma is seeing others and also it is seeing itself. So swadruk, that means it sees itself and also it sees others. So swadruk, so that means swaprakasha, that means it is illuminating itself and also it is illuminating the body. So that means now one has to see, so the difference between the atma and the body in this way. That means atma is a seer and body is seen, and atma is self-illuminating and atma illuminates other objects. So in this way one has to see the difference and differentiate the atma. So prakashascha jadad vilakshanaha tayoh antyatve drishtanta. So what is the, can you explain this thing with some example? Yes, we can explain this with the example. So what is that? So fire is there and fire is the burner, it's burning the burning element, and that means prakasha, and next that, and it burning the something, that is the wood, and that is a prakasha, and darunah kast darunah kastad anyad, that means tadvati. So daruno, fire and wood. So fire is what? Is the dahakaha. Dahakaha means which burns, burner, burner. And log is being burned, the object being burnt. Okay, so Dahakaha means this is Prakashakaha. Prakashakaha. Fire is Prakashakaha and wood is Prakashaha. Like this. This is the difference. So this is the difference. Like this, you have to see difference between the Dahyaha, Dahakaha. Similarly, body and soul. Soul is Prakashakaha and body is Prakashyaha. Prakashyaha. Body is Prakashyaha, soul is Prakashakaha. So like this, you should see the differences. In this way, one will be so if you see Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's commentary, Swadehe cha ahamtam naiva kuryad ityatra vicharamaha. So that means here Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, how he is taking. So he left wife, children and everything, and he has to leave the attachment for this body also. That how it is happened, he, like that he is explaining here. So how he can leave the attachment for body? That means mamatvam, he left mine, that in the case of wife and children that happened already. But he has to leave mamatvam for own body also. That how to get? That is explained here. Like that he took this law. Okay. So then he's saying that, so he's saying that स्थूल सूक्ष्म देहद्वया जड़ात दृश्याच आत्मचेतयिता ईक्षिता द्रष्टा च विलक्षणः जीवात्मनः अपि किंचित किंचित चेतयितृत्वादिकम् अस्त्येव यतः स्वदृक् स्वप्रकाशः स्वप्रकाशो ह्यात्मा प्रकाशयात् जड़ात् दृश्यात् देहाद् अन्य एव इति अतः तत्र कथम् अहं तां कुर्यात् इति भावः. So that means this is the soul is the seer and it is the seer, and apart from this, that means it is a chetayitru. That means also it is a cause for the consciousness in the body. So this soul is the cause for the consciousness in the body, and it is really different from this body. Then how I can see myself as this body? So how I can take? So body is only self. How I can take? So I cannot take. So that's why in this way he will be leaving mamatvam, so with to the body. So like that he explained. So here Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, you understood how he is? You understood, no? So soul is there. How that person is seeing? Soul is the seer. Same thing actually. He is also saying almost all same. So, soul is the ikshita. That means he is the seer, and also chetayita. Atma means chetayita. That means he is the cause for the consciousness in the body. Soul is cause for consciousness in the body, and so like that, that means jivatmana kinchit kinchit chetayitradikam api astyeva. That means jivatma is having the ability of giving consciousness to the inert materials. Now you have pain because atma is there. If atma is gone, there is no pain. So that means, so who is cause for this consciousness? This jivatma. So yatah so, and also this jivatma is swadruk. That means swaprakasha. It is illuminating itself. So prakasha atma prakasha, then that is different from the prakasha, that is body. Prakasha is body and it is different from that. Like that he will be seeing. So then in that case, if he realizing this point, then how he can take body as self? He cannot take body as self. So this is same almost all the, so like Sridhar Swami only he is saying. यद्यपि परमात्मैव स्वप्रकाशः जीवात्मा तु परमात्म प्रकाशः एव प्रसिद्धः तथापि तस्य परमात्म प्रकाशितत्वे सति किञ्चित् स्वप्रकाशित्वमपि स्यात् यथा सूर्य प्रकाशितत्वे सत्येव कनकरजितादेः किञ्चित्. So here you can make an objection actually. So we know that what Atma, Atma is giving the Chetana to the body, we are saying. That means we are accepting the some ability of so giving consciousness, giving Chetana to the body. So that there in the Atma, we are taking like that. Your understanding following or not? Atma is having the ability of giving the consciousness to the body. So, but we all know that Paramatma is cause for everything. So then how you are considering here Atma? That means actually Paramatmaiva Swaprakasha. The self-illuminating ability is there with the Paramatma only. Atma is also not self-illuminator. That means it is not illuminating so objects by itself. So it is also dependent on it Paramatma, na, actually. That is the principle actually. Atma is Swaprakashakaha. Swaprakashakaha means what? What is Swaprakasha? Self-illuminating, self-illuminator. That means it is not dependent on anyone and it is dependent on itself. And it is self-illuminating and also it illuminates other objects. Body, it is, let us take this is a body is there. And it illuminates that also. That means, so it is giving the, so it's Chetana guna to this body. That means living symptoms are you can see then in this body also. It illuminates into other smells. Okay, but we are accepting Atma as a Swaprakashaka. But what is the reality? Paramatma is really Swaprakashaha. Swaprakashakaha. Paramatma is a Swaprakashakaha. Paramatma is originally it so Swayam Prakashaka. Swaprakashaka means Swayam Prakash. It is illuminating itself. But how can you take Atma as Swaprakashakaha? That is the objection actually. यद्यपि परमात्मैव स्वप्रकाशः जीवात्मा तु परमात्मा प्रकाश्यः. Jivatma is Paramatma Prakashya. That means Jivatma is illuminated by Paramatma actually. That is a fact, no, actually. But why you are taking Jivatma as Swaprakashaka? Jivatma is Paramatma Prakashya. Jivatma is illuminated by Paramatma. Jivatma is not self-illuminator. But who is self-illuminator? Paramatma. Paramatma is only the self-illuminator and Jivatma is illuminated by the Paramatma and Jivatma, how can you take Jivatma as self-illuminator? So then answer is given here. So example is given for this, like sun is there. In the place of Paramatma you take sun. Sun is what? Swayam Prakashaka. And you take the Rajita, silver. You take silver or gold or something, Kanaka Rajita Dehe. So that means, of course, they are all illuminated by the what? By the sun only. But Kinchit Swaprakashata is also there. Kinchit. That means in the dark room there is no sunlight at all. So if you keep gold or something silver, so that means it is showing itself or not? Yes, the clear, that means fresh, that means shining silver. If you throw in this and keep everything dark, still you can see. That means Kinchit Swaprakashata is there in that silver. Of course it is illuminated by the sun, but still it is having. Similarly Jivatma is also having Kinchit, means a little bit Swaprakashata. Yes, and also it is illuminated by the Paramatma. Okay. Gopal put. It is analytically demonstrated in this verse that one should never falsely identify the ego with the material body. Such misidentification is called the false ego or the material illusion. The following question may be raised: since it is commonly known that Supreme Personality of Godhead enlightens the conditioned soul, why is the term Swadruk or self-enlightened used in this verse? For Jivatma, why Swaprakasha word is used? Actually, Jivatma is illuminated by the Paramatma, but Paramatma is really the Swaprakashakaha. But then why here Jivatma is addressed here as a Swaprakashakaha? So that is the question actually. That is justified by the Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. So what he is saying, Thakur is saying, explains that although the Supreme Personality of Godhead certainly furnishes consciousness to the living entity, being endowed with the potency of the Lord, has himself the capacity to revive and expand his pure consciousness. He may therefore be considered in a secondary sense self-enlightened. The example may be given that gold or silver domes brilliantly reflect the rays of sun. Although the light comes from the sun, the inherent properties of gold and silver can also be considered causes for the brilliant reflection. Since other substances don't possess suitable properties to reflect the sun's light. Similarly, the spirit soul can be considered swadruk, as self-enlightened. So because he possesses characteristics by which he can brilliantly reflect the potency of the personality of Godhead. So whatever we discussed, that same thing. So that sun and the gold example. Kinchit Swaprakashta is there. A nice example is given in this. What is that next? The illuminating his essential situation, just as gold or silver. Okay, demonstrations. Okay, a nice example is given in this verse. So to illustrate the different characteristics of how to see that difference between body and soul. That same fire and wood. Fire is the soul, and the body is the wood is the body. Firewood, which burns the. Okay, next. We said however it is. Fire is permanent. Okay, next. 9th sloka. Nirodotpatyanu bruhan nanatvam tatkrutan gunan antah pravishta adhatta evam deha gunan parah. So translation: just as fire may appear differently as dormant, manifest, weak, brilliant, and so on, according to the condition of the fuel, similarly the spirit soul enters the material body and accepts particular bodily characteristics. So that's why this whole deliberation is done by whom? Is the Yoga Rudaha. So his target is what? What he has to become? He has to become Brahman, emerge into the Brahman. So you will be seeing the Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur's commentary, and based upon that, you will be seeing he's going and merging into the Paramatma. Based upon the meditation, actually, in the Ashtanga Yoga process, that means in the Yoga path, what you will be seeing. So this is the Karmi, and after that, he is doing the Karmarpanam. Karmarpanam. So here Karmarpanam he is doing means he got the here association of the Gnani. So then after that, so he get the detachment. So then this is here is known as Yoga Rudaha. Then after that he is, so after the detachment means you should take it as in Ananya Bhakti what? In Ananya Bhakti's line you should take detachment means it is in the place of where? Shraddha. After Shraddha what? Gurupada Ashraya is there or not? Gurupada, here also Gurupada Ashray is there. That's why we saw. That means here you should follow also Yama Niyaman, Yaman, Yaman, Niyaman. After detachment, he will be following Yama and Niyama. And also you take the shelter of Guru, and under the shelter of Guru, he will be. So what he will be doing? Bhajan he will do. He will not do bhajan. What he will do? Deliberation on the instructions of the Guru, knowledge given by the Guru. That he is doing or not? What he is doing? So he is understanding that, Are, so he detached. After that, he left family. He can leave family. So after getting detachment in this, he can leave family. Here. Detachment for what? Detachment for the fruits of his work. So if you get detachment for fruits of work, he can leave family also. So how to justify that? So he will be he will be hearing from the Guru, and he is justifying that, Are, family, what is family? Everything is coming and going. Like money comes and goes. What is there? This wife is in this life wife, in the next life, she is wife of someone. Why I have to attach for this? Leave it. So like that he left. And he has to leave the attachment for his body also. Are, what is this body? It is just illuminated by the soul. And real is the soul actually. What is this? Leave this also. No attachment for this. Like that he is deliberating and trying to find the self. He's trying to differentiate his self. And finally he will be, so when he's, then he will be, then only he will become stable in this sitting in one place. Otherwise, Are, my wife, what is happening to her? Are, my children, what they are doing? It will go na, like that. Before, asan means what? Yama, niyama, asan. To be stable in the fixed in the one place, you have to now control everything. You have to leave the everything. So asana, pranayam. So, and also you have to use some ashtanga techniques to stable this mind. Mind is controlled by the prana. Prana controls the mind. If you control prana, mind will be controlled. And then pratyahar means controlling all the senses, which should not go out now. So it is okay, you left everything by this knowledge. But now you are also seeing so many objects. Then there is a beautiful woman is walking in that forest. Then your senses are now outward. Then they start once again. So being attracted, that means going on that object. So that's why you have to control the senses also. So that's a pratyahar means now you introvert all the senses. You so bring out inside all the senses. So all these things he will do under the direction of the Guru. So like that, and he will come to the stage of dharana. Dharana means meditating on the Paramatma or the Brahman. If he meditates on the Paramatma, what will happen? We'll be seeing now here in the coming slokas in the 14th and 15th. So that is the process we are going to see. So we are giving a few more logics. There is a deliberation point we are seeing. There, devotee do the bhajan, but here he will be doing the contemplation. Jnani will be contemplating on the reality and unreality, temporary and permanent. How he is contemplating on this? Let us see. 9th. Nitya anaditva vibhutva ekatvadeha api siddhyanti ityaha nirodheti. Nitya anaditva vibhutva ekatvadeha तथा च धारुष्वन्तः प्रविष्टो अग्निः तत्कृता कृतान्नाशादीन् प्राप्नोति न तु स्वतः नाशादिमान् एवं गुणान् अनित्यादीन् देहात् परः नित्यादिस्वरूपः अयम् आत्मा अनुभवति. So now he is going to realize a few more attributes of the Atma. So in the previous sloka, he saw the difference between body and Atma. Now this Atma is the other characteristics of the Atma is being realized by this deliberation. What is that? So you see, when fire is entering into the firewood, it is getting the properties of the firewood. When firewood is finished, fire is also finished. Like that you will be getting or not. That means you are imposing the characteristics of the firewood on the fire. Same way, generally people think that, so whenever, that means since Atma is entering into the body, so body is finished, Atma is also finished. People think like that. So, but actually, Atma is Nitya. Actually, fire is Nitya. So, fire is here disappearing, but fire is so sum total fire is not at all, is finished. Fire is always existing only. So, the sum total fire is always existing also. In the same way, so here it is said, the other characteristics of the soul are being discussed. Kincha daru dharma nashadayaha vahno yatha. So that means whoever is a foolish person, he thinks that if that means the firewood is finished and the finishing property is there in the firewood, and also he thinks that the same property applies to the fire also. Yatha brahmad aropyante eva natute tatra vartante evameva dehadharmah api nashadayah atmani. That means the properties of the body are applied to the soul. Nirodha nashaha darushu pravishtaha agnihi. That means firewood is there, now fire is entering there into that firewood, and it is becoming big sometime, and after that extinguished. That means fire is also finished. Such a तत्कृताः तन्निष्ठान् नाशादीन् गुणान् पुरुष ब्रह्मादेव दत्ते एवं देह गुणान् देह धर्मान् नाशादीन् देहात् परः आत्मा दत्ते यथा अग्निर्नष्ट उत्पन्नो अल्पः महान् नानाकारः इत्युच्यते तथैव आत्मा. That means now firewood is big firewood and fire is also become big, and now it's a big fire, small fire, and also fire is destroyed. So like that, all properties of the firewood you are applying to the fire, but actually fire is eternal. Is eternal means in the sense of it is not at all having the fire is big or small. That means from where this fire is coming is the fire element in this universe is one only. It is not having any different sizes. It is also existing till the universe is there. So it is not being destroyed also, but you are applying all the properties of the firewood to that. That's example actually. So the same way, so here based upon the body you are also applying the characteristics of the body to the because of the illusion to the soul. Kramena nana deha gatatvena yan nanatvam tavat. That means now you are seeing that soul as elephant, ant, rat, cat, dog, like that, because of the different bodies. So but soul is uniform, is also eternal, and no destruction. So like that, he is deliberating on the self, that means Atma, and trying to explore more and more characteristics of the soul, Atma. Although fire may appear and disappear within a particular object, the element fire always exists. Similarly, the eternal soul appears within a suitable body and then disappears from that body, but the soul always exists. Just as fire is different from its fuel, the soul is different from the body. A match makes a tiny fire, whereas the explosion of a huge gasoline tank will send flames shooting up into the sky. But still, fire is one. Similarly, one spirit soul may appear in the body of Brahma and other body in the and other in the body of an ant, but the spirit soul is qualitatively the same in every body. Because of ignorance, we impose the bodily characteristics upon the soul, and thus we say that a particular person is American, Russian, Chinese, African, and Mexican, or that he is old or young. Although such a designation certainly apply to the body, they don't apply to the spirit soul, which is described here as Paraha, or transcendental entity. As long as bewildered spirit soul remains inimical to the supreme, see, devotional, supreme personality of, from here it is devotional purport. From so supreme personality, the designations of the gross and subtle bodies will wrap themselves around him, keeping him in darkness. If one intellectually identifies oneself with the various materialistic philosophies of life, he becomes covered by this subtle mind. Ultimately, everything that exists in the part and parcel of the absolute truth, Lord Krishna. When the living entity realizes this, he becomes nirupadi, or free from the material designation. This is the constitutional position. Okay, the same thing you all know. So next sloka. योऽसौ गुणैः विरचितो देहोऽयं पुरुषस्य हि संसारः तन्निबन्धोऽयं पुंसो विद्याच्चिदात्मनः. Radharani Mataji. Translation.
The subtle and gross material bodies are created by the material modes of nature, which expand from the potency of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Material existence occurs when the living entity falsely accepts the qualities of the gross subtle body as his own factual nature. The illusory state, however, can be destroyed by real knowledge.
So one more point for the deliberation on the reality. So this one more thought is explained here. ननु अग्नेः दारु संयोगात् तद्धर्म भाक्तुं घटते आत्मनः तु असंगत्वात् कथं देहेन तद्धर्मैः वा संबन्धः संबन्धे वा कृततन्निवृत्तिः तत्र आहायोऽसौ इति. So okay, in the case of example, you see what we said in the previous sloka. Fire is in contact with the firewood, then that's why fire is also getting the foolish people, they are applying the properties of the firewood on the fire. So okay, there is a possibility is there, fire and firewood samyoga, that means contact of fire and firewood is possible. But here how atma and body is coming in contact, this we want to. So fire and firewood bringing together is very easy. Take firewood and give a matchbox, then fire is there, and contact of fire and firewood is there. But how this atma and body are getting the contact? So that is said here. And also how they will be detached. So that is gunaihi virichitah dehoyam purushasya samsaraha tannibandhaho ayam pumsaha vidyachidatmanaha. So what is the cause for the contact of the soul and the body? How the relation between soul and body are coming together? What is the reason? Purushasya Ishwarasya adinaihi maya gunaihi yosau sukshmastehah ayam hi stula deha virachitaha jivasya ayam samsaraha. That means that means Ishwarasya adhinah maya gunaihi. That means what is said here in this sloka? Gunaihi virachitaha. Gunai, that means so Lord's potency is the Maya, and Maya is having the gunas, 3 gunas. So Maya gunaihi. So by that Maya, through the gunas, she is creating the stula and sukshma bodies. Okay. So for whom? For the Jivatma. So how the body and Jivatma is coming? Because Jivatma, this body is created by the Maya, by its gunas, and which is the energy of the Lord. And by this body, so it is getting the samsaraha. Jivasya ayam samsaraha. Tan nibandhanaha tat sambandha bhave. So tat sambandha bhavepi tan nibandhanaha tat sambandha bhavepi tadadhyasa krutah tadiya Atarkya shaktya avidyaya nishpaditaha. Actually, there is no relation between the Jivatma and this body. Two are two different elements. But how they are attached? How they are attached actually? They are attached through the avidya. Avidya is a component of the Maya. Like this, you should take. Jivatma will be there, and Jivatma is surrounded by the avidya. And because of this avidya only, this is subtle body and this is gross body. Three layers you should take. Jivatma, avidya, and subtle body, gross body. Like this. These two, this subtle body and gross body, both are made by the three modes. Three modes. But what about this avidya? Avidya is also made up of modes. Avidya is made up of modes or not? Huh? Tirumala Swami? Avidya is made up of three modes. Huh? Avidya is made up of three modes. Vedantis? Bhakti Vedanta. Made of Lord. Acha, Lord only everything is making. I am asking, avidya is made up of modes or not?
Yes, Prabhuji, it is made from the modes only.
Huh?
It is from
Avidya
the
is not
modes
made
only.
up of modes.
It is a product of Maya.
It is the product of the energy of function of the Maya. Maya is having the avidya shakti, and also it is having the prakriti. So prakriti is three modes, and subtle and gross body are coming from the prakriti actually. Subtle and gross bodies are coming from are made up of from this prakriti. 23 elements are coming, and by using these 23 elements, subtle and gross bodies are made up of. Avidya is made up of these 323 elements. It's different actually. So whenever dissolution happens, these subtle and gross bodies are out, but avidya will remain. Avidya will remain. And that means in the Karananasaya Vishnu, Jivatma is entering along with the its avidya. Okay. That means the karma, whatever the karma is earned by this Jivatma in this life using the, that means in this life means in this 100 years of the Brahmaji life, whatever karma is incurred, so that is deposited in this with avidya. Along with this, it is entering into the Karananasaya Vishnu, but subtle and gross bodies all are dissolved. Samskara, not samskara. Samskara stays in the only this. It's a karma. So this avidya, yes, that means in the beginning, when Jivatma, beginningless. So Jivatma is not having the knowledge about Paratattva Gnana Bhava. That means not having the knowledge about the Supreme Lord. So Paratattva Gnanam is not there. Then what happened? This Jivatma is attacked by Maya. So then Maya is what it is doing? It is doing the covering the its knowledge by using what? By using avidya. Jivatma is covered by the avidya, and then it is forgetting who am I. And then after that, so next step what? This Maya is giving the Viparita Gnanam. That means because of this avidya, so it is getting the body. And then it started thinking I am body. Then after that, it is entering into the dualities. Then after that, it is getting the fear. So that means avidya. if this Jivatma has to go back to get liberation, what it should do? It should destroy this avidya. And that's why here the question is how this Jivatma and body, material body, both are two different elements, how there is a contact. So that's the question actually. Like fire and firewood, they can come in contact, both are material. But how this spirit and this is material body came in contact, that is through the avidya.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. So you began with the point saying that the Paratattva Gnana Abhava, and because of that, the Maya influences through its Avidya Shakti.
Yes.
And then the Prakriti attacks it, and therefore he gets into...
Prakriti, no, Maya only. So Maya keeping that in control. So when Maya give body, subtle and gross body through the Prakriti. Prakriti is also energy of the Maya.
So if we have to say that the Maya has these two kinds of function.
Yes.
One is covering the Jiva with Avidya.
Yes.
And also facilitating the bodies through Prakriti.
Yes.
So that soul which has not got the proper knowledge about himself or his connection with the Supreme, which is what you are referring there as Paratattva Gnana Abhava.
Yeah.
So this occurs by the desire of the Jiva, or it is actually imposed upon him?
It happened anadi. There is no beginning.
Okay, so we are taking the condition of the particular Jiva in this material world, and we are stating from that point, since he is not having this knowledge, this is the state of his affairs.
Yeah.
Okay.
So whenever I say no beginning, so then you cannot ask the on that moment.
Yeah.
No moment.
Yeah.
So it is there. Yeah. Anyway, time is also a temporary actually. Temporary means not temporary, but it is like a stopwatch. It is there, but it is started, ignited, ended, ignited, ended, ignited, ended, like that. Like when Karnanusaya Vishnu opens eyes, countdown start, 100 years of Brahmaji, and he closes out 100 years of the Brahmaji, and once opens, start. Then in between he opens and closes. Then after that, if he doesn't open, then time will not start. So that's why time is also in the control of the Lord. So what is the starting, ending? You cannot, because it's a keep on happening, these cycles. So that's why now avidyaya nishpaditah yaha dehadhyadhyasarupo nitaram bandha. Because of this avidya now, it is considering itself as body. That's why there is a contact of the soul and the body because of the avidya. Dehadhyasa, that means it is imposing the properties of the body on self. And I am big, I am mota, I am chota, I am this, I am that. All this dehadhyasa. That means imposing the characteristics of body on self. So this kind of, then it is getting entanglement. I am Indian, then started fighting for India. I am Ukrainian and started fighting for Ukraine and Russia. Where you will be, Tirumala? World War होने वाला है या नहीं? What is the news? So new weapons they are going to get from US. So Ukrainians, it's leading to the.
I will start to fight for Indian.
Prabhu, you should be here only. Don't go to Germany.
Yes. I will start to fight for India. Then
oh my God.
Till this point.
But Germany is also excited. Oh, okay, Russia. Acha, you are for you are not.
Yeah, they already lost me.
Anyway, if you are fighting for India, means India is also on the side of Russia only.
No, no.
India will be the last country to enter into that war. Very intelligent, Indians.
Actually, this is a difficult point.
Yeah.
How to identify ourselves.
Yes. So then, tan nivruttaha, how this avidya, which is cause for the jivatma to be entangled in this body, so it will be so finished. How it is? Vidya Shakti Chit. What is that? In the sloka you see, Vidya Chidatmanaha. Vidya Chit Atmanaha. By the Vidya Shakti. Vidya Chidatmanaha means here how it is? Vidya Chit Atmanaha. Like that it was broken. So that's why Vidya Shakti Chit. That means Tadbandha Chetti Atmanaha Jivasya. That means it is broken in a very systematic way. Anyway, so grammatical thing is there. But here, that avidya is now contracted by the vidya. By Vidya Shakti. Now to liberate this Jivatma, you have to destroy this avidya. Avidya is destroyed by the vidya. Then that Jivatma is liberated. This has to be achieved now. Yogi, Gnana Yogi is next what he is going to do, you see. The subtle and gross material bodies are created. Okay, next. Regarding the analogy comparing fire and its fuel to the soul and the body, one may argue that some extent fire is dependent upon its fuel and cannot exist without it. Since we don't experience the existence of the fire independent of fuel, one may therefore still question how it is possible for the living entity to exist separately from the body, become covered by it, and eventually become free from it. Only through the Supreme Personality of Godhead's knowledge, potency, Vidya can one clearly understand the nature of the living entity. By Vidya or real knowledge, one may cut material existence to pieces and even in this lifetime experience spiritual reality. According to Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, our material existence is an artificial imposition by the Lord's inconceivable potency of the nescience. Avidya means nescience. The qualities of the gross and subtle material forms are so psychologically imposed upon the living being, and because of misidentification with the body, the living entity initiates a series of illusory activities. As explained in the previous chapter, the present material body is like a tree that produces the karmic seeds of the next body. However, this cycle of ignorance can be cut to pieces by the transcendental knowledge explained by the Lord. That means nescience, avidya is the cause for the bondage, and Vidya is going to cut that into the pieces. Unfortunately, Vidya, that means unfortunately, conditioned souls being inimical to the Supreme Personality of Godhead don't accept the perfect knowledge spoken by the Lord. So what is the cause? Why this Jivatma is with this avidya? That means Maya is attacking and it is giving avidya. That means that by that it is Jivatma is forgetting itself, because Jivatma is not having the knowledge about the Paratattvam. That's why. But once this Jivatma is trying to get the knowledge about the Paratattvam, then what will happen? This Maya we started releasing that Jivatma. So Daivi Hesha Gunamayi Mama Maya Duratyaya Mam Ye Prapadyante Mayam Ye Tam Tarantite. Whoever is surrendering to me, so those will be released. So that's why in Ananya Bhakti, so Shraddha means surrendering. If whoever is surrenders, and then Maya starts releasing. anartha nivritti is going to happen. Okay. Then if you do more and more after anartha nivritti also, nishtha bhajan, then you will be getting the taste, ruchi. Till anartha nivritti, you will be so completely under the control of the Maya and you will be released. So once anartha nivritti is over, since you surrendered. Same in this process also, in the Jnana Yogi process also. So since he is trying to meditate on the either Paramatma or the Brahman, so that is also knowledge about the Paratattva only. So in that way, so that knowledge is going to cut this. Knowing just himself as soul, it will not cut this avidya. That is not sufficient actually. We'll be seeing anyway, discussing these details.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Is this Vidya also an aspect of Maya itself?
Yes, it is also material Vidya. It is also product of Maya only.
So avidya to be destroyed with Vidya. We are talking of a Vidya which is not the material Vidya. We are talking of transcendental, right?
This Vidya is out of goodness. In the case of Gnani.
Okay. So that is still in the mode of goodness only.
So by coming to the mode of full goodness, so he is surrounded by the then Jivatma with the Vidya. He is seeing then by self, himself as self. Once if he comes to the full of goodness, what will happen? He is able to see himself. When mirror is completely clean, he will be seeing his face. Similarly, the influence of avidya is destroyed by the Vidya and he is surrounded by the Vidya, and this Vidya also should be finished to be liberated.
This is exactly the mantra from Ishopanishad, mantra 11 says the same fact.
Okay. Yes.
So Prabhuji, in this case, I just want to again reconfirm that we said that avidya is an aspect of Maya and Prakriti is also a functional created by the Maya for the bodies.
Yes.
Now, if we are talking that the Jiva must be situated in Sattva Guna, means his body must be in Sattva, only then he can destroy the avidya?
Through the Vidya.
What is it called, Prabhu? What did you say?
Vidya, through Vidya.
Yeah, so this can avidya, because it's a separate function of Maya, is that also an aspect of gunas? Is it also an aspect of the modes?
Avidya, so avidya, you don't need to bring that into the gunas because it's not the product. Bahiranga Shakti is not everything is in the gunas. Like example, karma is there. Karma is in which gunas? Can you say? No. Karma is also product of Bahiranga Shakti. Maya means Bahiranga Shakti or the Mahamaya. So here Maya means Mahamaya, which is also known as Bahiranga Shakti. It is having the various products actually in this. Kala is also product of the Maya. It's not the Swarupa Shakti, Kala, because it's in the spiritual world there is no time. And also it is not Tatasa Shakti. Kala is also not Tatasa Shakti. Kala comes under the Bahiranga Shakti. So Kala is it having any modes in it? No, it is the changer of the modes. That means it brings the differences in the modes. And similarly, karma, is it in any modes? Can you say karma is in the modes? No. So that's why we should understand Prakriti is only in the modes. And apart from Prakriti, there are different functions are there with the Bahiranga Shakti, or otherwise also known as Mahamaya, like Kala, Karma, and so this Prakriti, and Vidya. Vidya is goodness actually.
So avidya when we say avidya is ignorance,
yes.
and it is it in the part of any prakriti, or it is free from the prakriti?
It's free from the prakriti.
Similarly, vidya is also free from prakriti.
It is also free from prakriti.
So it doesn't have the influence of the three modes of material nature.
That is also, we can say, it is a full of goodness, but it is free from the prakriti. So vidya and avidya are not products of the prakriti.
So in this case, if a person, that is his body, is made or maintained in sattva guna, then he is able to see the avidya aspect of it, because he is situated in the quality of the sattva guna is that it is illuminating. So he is able to see avidya aspect of it, and then he becomes inclined to take vidya, is how we can understand.
Yeah. So that means the full goodness and the avidya means full ignorance, but these are all not product of the prakriti. They are not product of the, if you see in the product of prakriti, we have 23 elements. There is no vidya and avidya, or otherwise karma. These will not be coming. So in this way, we say these are all not coming out of these changes in the modes, but the full goodness is known as vidya, and the full deep ignorance is known as avidya. So what I want to say is, so mainly it is not the modes, means my point is, it's not from the prakriti actually. These are not the products of the prakriti which are changing in the, so which are coming from the, that means out of these 23 elements, it's not come under that list. It's different from that, different from the prakriti.
So those who are following the Jnana Marga, they are kind of a contemplation, as we saw that they first start to offer karmarpanam, and then afterwards they meet a jnani, and from there they start to do the deliberations.
Karmarpanam also, they are after coming contact with the jnani only, they start doing the karmarpanam to the Lord.
So the first aspect is they come in contact with the jnani.
Yes.
And then they start the process of karmarpanam.
Yes.
And then they start to take the again an ashraya of the guru there at that level. Is that how we should understand?
Yeah.
So that they can start to do deliberations.
Yes.
And when in the process of deliberation, they talk about the difference between the body and the spirit.
Yes.
And they start to develop the concept based upon that.
Yes.
And come to the point of understanding that what actually is jiva, and that is basically because he is paratattva gnana bhava.
Yes.
And therefore he starts to realize that the matter and the spirit is different.
Yes.
And because of his inimical tendency, he is covered by avidya.
Yes.
And unless and until he develops the quality of sattva, he cannot actually get freed from that.
Yes.
And at that stage, he can actually understand the transcendental knowledge, which is also part of the Maya, but it is situated. It is talking about the goodness aspect of the vidya. Is that how we should understand? Is that vidya an aspect of goodness?
Yeah, that's so.
Thank you, Prabhu.
So now the deep ignorance has to be counteracted by the vidya. So this deep ignorance means it's not product of the prakriti. Prakriti is different, and vidya, avidya component is different. So now next, what happens? And vidya is also shakti of this maya only, but it is the counteracting with the avidya. So that we'll be seeing in the next sloka. But if the living entity accepts the Lord's knowledge, his whole situation can be rectified, and he can turn to original eternal blissful life of the perfect knowledge in the direct association of the Lord. So next, tasma jignasayatmanam atmastam kevalam param sangamya nirasedyetad vastu buddhim yatha kramam. Therefore, by the cultivation of the knowledge, one should approach the Supreme Personality of Godhead situated within oneself. By understanding the Lord's pure transcendental existence, one should gradually give up the false vision of the material world as independent reality. Anyway, what it is saying, 11th sloka is saying, Tasmat jignasaya vicharena atmani sthula sukshma dehantaryeva sthitam atmanam param kevalam sanginam atishayena sangam yagnatva etasmin dehabande vasam yatakramam sadhana bahulyatah kramena niraset tyajet. What is advised here? What is advised? Here it is said that
I'm understanding this verse. This verse is talking about making a very what do you call careful inquiry and analysis. One should gradually able to come to this process of disassociating with the body and disassociating on the self.
That means he has to increase his knowledge, vidya. Using what? Sadhana bahulyataha. Yathakramam sadhana bahulyataha. That means by following the severe austerities, so that who left this work, so he will be following the different austerities, and also he is sadhana bahulya means trying to deeply understand the Upanishads. That means, and also Sankhya philosophy, analytical study, whereas there are different sadhanas, and also he is trying to use that means pranayama and so and so to control the mind and to separate, that means his consciousness from the body. So sadhana bahulyatah kramena niraset. That means what he should reject? He should reject his connection with the body. So he has to come to the consciousness that I am different from this body. I am different from this. That means avidya is being destroyed by the vidya. So that means he is dissociating himself with the body, means he is destroying his avidya. The influence of avidya is being reduced kramena, as gradually. So the word yatha kramam means that after first realizing oneself to be the different from the gross material body, one should then progressively detach oneself from the material mental activities. In this verse, etad vastu buddhim means seeing the material world as existing independently rather than correctly seeing all things as emanations of the absolute truth. When one correctly identifies oneself as eternal spiritual form, one achieves the real fruit of knowledge. The Lord is eternally manifest in his eternal form, and the living entity is similarly manifest in his eternal form as the loving servitor of the Lord. When we falsely assume that temporary, illusory material objects are real knowledge of our eternal spiritual form is covered by the ignorance. When we falsely assume that temporary, illusory objects as real, knowledge of our eternal spiritual form is covered by ignorance. If, however, one meditates upon the Lord's supreme presence within everything, one can return to the normal, blissful state of spiritual life. Even human being should seriously endeavor to understand that the absolute truth, as indicated in this verse by the word jignasaya. Tasmat jignasaya atmanam atmastam kevalam param. Vicharena, that means vicharena, that by the deliberation. And also yatha kramam means sadhana bahulyatah, means accepting various sadhanas like tapas and so and so. So like this, one has to leave his, should separate his consciousness from the body. Okay, next 12th sloka. So acharyoraniradyah adyasya syad. Okay, ante vasyuttararanihi tadhanam pravachanam vidya sandis sukhavah. you'll be seeing the production of the Vidya actually. How the Vidya is produced. So to diminish the influence of the Avidya. So that is explained here. So where he is under the control of the Guru. He is under Guru, na actually.
Yes.
So Guru is one Arani. Shishya is the Guru is a bottom Arani. Okay. Arani means what you will tell. The spiritual master can be compared to the lower kindling stick. The disciple to the upper kindling stick. And the instructions given by the Guru to the third stick placed in between. A third stick kahan se aaya? The transcendental knowledge communicated from Guru to disciple is compared to the fire arising from the contact of these, which burns the darkness of ignorance to ashes, bringing great happiness both to Guru and disciple. Okay, you understood? Arani is actually in the Vedic systems, to generate a fire to perform a sacrifice, they used to use the Arani like this, and this is one wood. There is a one more wood there, and here they keep some another wood, like light wood actually, small pieces wood. Okay, this is bottom Arani, bottom wood. This is upper wood, and some wood is kept. So wood to get fire. Okay. So when this wood is rubbed, that means churning actually, they do like this, churning. So this wood is with this, that means this is a bottom wood. Both, so in between friction is generated, and in there some wood is kept. Sometimes some kind of grass, very light grass or something they keep. So then what will happen when it is churned like this, the top one, then that is going and so crushing that, and friction is generated from there. So fire is coming. Then from here, fire will come. Two are there. Why not? This is there and this is. Yeah, that is there. This is this. To catch. Guror labdva. That means this they will keep some wood such a way they can hold. Na, if fire is generated, they have to bring that fire. Some another wood they keep here. So light in between these two. So when the churning they did, so this wood is catching the fire, and they will take that and in the yagya they will put that. Like 3 woods are needed actually. Huh? It's not a powerful area. What is this Brahman? It's very easy actually. If churning, even in the jungly, so jungly people, they will be taking the stick, and YouTube you can search. There are a lot of videos. So they will be putting the stick and it like that doing, and then after that fire is coming. Even if there is no matchbox. Powerful. What is powerful? Tirumala is saying that Brahmana should be powerful to produce fire here, he's saying. That is difficult. It is not a difficult thing. It is very easy. That is okay. Producing fire from this arena is very easy. Even you can also produce. Okay, I will bring that. Today only we will do experiment. Okay, take the 2 woods and make a hole, and in fact keep some cotton there, and immediately it will catch within 2 minutes. Okay, Guror labdva, Guroho labda vidya. Vidya eva avidya tat karya nirasana kshama iti spasti kartum. So that means Guru is teaching him all the Vedanta, all the, that means about the soul and about the Brahman and so on. So what is happening? Guru is teaching the Vidya. Guru, in the association of the Guru. So Guru or Labda. From the Guru he is getting the Vidya. From the Guru he is getting what? So instructions. Pravachanam, that means lesson. Yes or no? From that lesson Vidya is produced. Upanyasa, that means what we say Upanyasa means? Lecture. Guru gives the lecture, and from that disciple get the Vidya. So how many are there? Disciple is there? Guru, teacher, lecture and Vidya. So here this top wood is disciple, bottom wood is Guru, and this in between you kept some another wood, that is which is going to catch fire, that is lecture, and whatever that fire is coming here, fire will come na here. So that fire is Vidya. Okay. So by this Vidya, this avidya is contracted, is destroyed. Here there is no much, so there is no devotion and this, that, no. Only the different jnana sadhanas are followed, and he will be just deliberating on the knowledge which is heard from the Guru, and then from there Vidya is produced. Vidyotpattim agnim utpatti agnotpatti रूप अग्नोत्पत्ति रूपकेण निरूपयति आचार्य आद्यः अधरः तत्संधानं तयोः मध्यमं मंथनकाष्ठम. This we say mantanakashtam. Mantanakashtam, that means that wood is churned actually. That wood is churned. In between you kept na, that wood is churned, and churning, by the churning that wood it is catching the fire. Two arnis are there, bottom and top, and in between you kept the manthana kastam. That means kastam means wood. That means wood which should be churned. So that is nothing but pravachanam. Manthana kastam is pravachanam or lecture, upadeshaha. So vidya tu sandhihi. Vidya is, so whatever is coming from that upanyasa, from that lecture, the disciple is absorbing the knowledge from that Vidya. That is nothing but the Agni. So Acharya Purva Rupam Ante Vasyuttara Rupam Vidya Sandhi Pravachana. Like this, there is one Shruti is also there. Okay. Now the purport, when the darkness of ignorance is bound to ashes, the dangerous life of ignorance is also eradicated. One can work for his true self-interest in full knowledge. In this verse, the word Adhyaha means original, and it indicates the spiritual master, who is compared to the sacred kindling stick held below. From the spiritual master, transcendental knowledge like fire is spread to the disciple. Just as a friction between two sticks of a firewood produces a fire, similarly, a bona fide contact between the spiritual master, so who is a representative of the Krishna, and a sincere disciple produces the firewood of the knowledge. So yeah, you have to understand these purports, why they are bringing this, because you can see the same thing you can apply to that line also. That's a devotional line, Ananya Bhakti line. So that's why you can understand, but also you should maintain the difference. You should see what context is going on, and also how to speak for the devotees also you should know. That is the point. Next. That means now this Jivatma is Now, as much as his vidya is, avidya is destroyed, and he is covered with what now? Vidya. So this will become, that means Jivatma is now circled with the vidya. This is also, but Jivatma, can he liberate now with vidya? No, it cannot go. It has to live vidya also. Then only it will liberate it. That we will be seeing. Vaisharadi sate vishuddha buddhir dhunoti mayam guna samprasutam gunam cha sandahya yadatmameta swayam cha samyatya sadmid yathagnihi. Translation: by submissively hearing from an expert spiritual master, the expert disciple develops pure knowledge which repels the onslaught of material illusion arising from the three modes of material nature. Finally, this pure knowledge itself ceases, just as fire ceases when the stock of fuel has been consumed. This vidya is also potency of the Maya only, but it's not the modes actually. It's like vidya is a pure goodness, you say, but it's a Shakti actually. So it's not out of the Prakriti. That is the point. So what it is going to do, you see now. What is explained here. So Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is giving very nice explanation. So Agni Sadrishyameva Aha. What Agni does? Fire, what it does? If you came contact of any firewood with that fire, that means if you lit some firewood, if you give fire to a firewood, so that fire will destroy that firewood, and also fire also extinguish itself. Similarly, this vidya destroys avidya and also itself out. Then liberate. That how it will happen, tell. I will tell. Wait. No. It is also said in the third chapter of the first canto. If you all Brahman realize, third chapter is discussing about the three realizations: Paramatma, Brahman, and Bhagavan. Yes. So in that Brahman realization also it is said, if you remember, so you may not get so much excitement. Daivi hesha uparati. That means, sorry. Yadyesha uparata daivi maya vaisharadi. If you remember, same Vaisharadi. This vidya is known as, another name of vidya is what? Vaisharadi. Yadyesha uparata devi maya vaisharadi mati sampanna yeveti vidur mahimni swe mahiyate. So now this vidya is known as Vaisharadi. Here also it is said Vaisharadi. So Vaisharadi Visharadaha mane Bhagavan Tadiya Ati Vishuddha Gnana Rupa Vidya Ya Mayam Avidyam Yadatmakam Yetat Dehadvayadhyasa Rupam Samsara Bandhanam Tan Gunanscha Dagdva Asamit Nirandanaha Agniryatha Nirvati Yatatha Swayam Vidya Pishamyati Tataha Kevalayaiva Bhaktya Abhyastaya Shantaratim Prapya Bhagavat Salokyam Prapnoti Yaduktam Bhaktir Mukyaiva Nirvignena Ityayat Yukta Viraktata Iti Shanti Ratimatam Gunabhuta Bhakti Matam Gnaninam tu Vidya Avidya Matayoho Vidya Avidyam विद्या अविद्यमतयोरुपक्रमे ततः मां तत्त्वतः ज्ञात्वा इति गीतोक्तेः भक्त्युक्त ज्ञानेन परमात्मैक्यम्. अच्छा, what is going to happen? This vidya, so Visharadaha Bhagavan Tadiya, it is also Shakti of the Lord. It is here given, it is as a Shakti of the Lord. Ati Vishuddha Gnana Rupa Vidya ya Mayam Avidyam. That means it is going to destroy the avidya. Avidyam yadatmakam etat deha dvayadhyasa rupam sambandha samsara bandhanam. So this avidya is cause for what? Jivatma to be entangled with this body. So now that avidya and also this vidya is going to destroy the avidya tan gunamscha, and also so all the gunas dagdva, that means destroys. Asamit, asamit means nirandanaha, agnihi yatha nirvati. That means if you take a lamp, and in this oil is there and wick is there, so as much as oil is there, so this fire will be there. But now oil is not there, let us take. Then this fire is there, then what? This fire will destroy this wick also and it itself extinguish. Same way here, you should take the example of the lamp without oil, and wick is lit by a fire, then what will happen? Nirandanaha. Asamit means nirandanaha. That means lamp without oil. So this is explained very clearly in the Kapil Dev's 27th chapter actually. So in detail it is explained there. Yes, of the Kapil Dev's teachings. How that Gnani is getting the realization. So here what is then Swayam Vidya Shamyati Tataha Kevalayaiva Bhaktya Abhyastaya Shantaratim Prapya Bhagavad Salokyam Prapnoti. दिमाग में घूम नहीं रही मेरा, तो भूल गए मैं. That 27 chapters discussion completely exactly I am not remembering. बहुत दिन हो गया. So but I will try how this process happens. Actually here Krishna is jumping. He didn't explain many steps in this, but Kapil Bhagavan explained very clearly. He completely jumped actually. He said simply what? Oh, different gnana sadhanas they follow, and then after that finally vidya, so destroys avidya and is liberated like that, and also vidya is finished. This much only said, but inner details he didn't mention many, which are said in the 3rd canto 27th chapter by the Kapila. So what happens? This person is deliberation, and then after that he is following the yamani. That means dharana and other techniques, na? That is meditating. So that means this gnani, so he will be going to the meditation actually. Meditation means after once controlling the senses and mind, then he will be pranayam pratyahar. After this, so what he is going to do? So he is going to dharana. Dharana means meditating on Paramatma. You take Paramatma here, okay? Vishwanath Chakravarti's commentary will be suitable then. We can. So he is meditating on the Paramatma. Who is this? This is the practitioner, Gnani. He is meditating on this. Keep on meditating on this. Then what will dharana means? He starts. And dhyan means, that means continuous meditation is known as dhyana. So as continuously is meditating, that means he's putting his whole attention on this, seeing and then what will happen? By seeing the Lord's form, so he will be started getting the love. Then what he does? He stops this love. Hey, what is this unnecessary? I am getting attachment for this Paramatma. Hut. So then what will happen? So he will not try to develop any relationship with him. With that love, there is a chance to get any relationship. But his goal is what? His goal is this practitioner goal is liberation actually. Then in that case, so he breaks this. That means he doesn't have any bhakti. Bhakti means love, but he doesn't have any love. He breaks that. Whatever but means by meditating on the Paramatma, he is getting the love. So then what happens? See here, Guni Bhuta Bhakti Matam Gnani tu Vidya Avidya Matayo Upakrame Tatah Mam Tatvatah Gnatva. So then, so he breaks this love and he will be understanding that this kind of person is destroying the both avidya and vidya. That means what happens here? So when he meditate on the form of the Lord and so gradual progress, so love is arising, that he stops. Then after that, so he is so here actually one step is there. This is missing actually. And then what happens? Nirandana will happens here. That means he is using the mind. How he is meditating? He is using the mind, na, that. So to meditate on the Lord. And now in that mind, so now through that mind he is seeing the Paramatma, and now he stops meditating on that means he starts developing relationship with him. So then by this it will what will happen? Like they're also given the same example. That means a lamp without oil. So then that at that time, so his mind is also ceased actually, and that means Linga Deham is finished. And then finally he will be alone. So he is alone and he goes and merges into this Paramatma. One step is there actually. After meditating on love is coming and he stops. Then after that, next step what? So his Linga Deham is destroyed. There one step is there that I am not remembering exactly. But then finally what? So he is knowing. Maybe that if I search, tomorrow I will tell. Okay, I don't remember now. Exactly, not coming in my mind. How this next what happens actually? That process also I will explain. Even few most process means what? Same. That means Yama Nima, all these he will follow. He comes to the stage of the dhyana, samadhi, and there he getting this, and he stops that. Then after that, by stopping that, what happened? His own mind is also seized everything, and then finally, so he is going and merging into that Paramatma. This is the one case. So Guni Bhuta Bhakti Matam Gnani Nam tu Vidya Avidya Matayo Yoho Uparame Tatah Mam Tatvatah Gnatva. That means he is knowing that. So then after that he is seeing everywhere Paramatma only. So and he is seeing everywhere Paramatma, and that means he knows that Paramatma is only everything. And then Tatvatah Gnatva. In Bhagavad Gita also is said. So what is that sloka in the Bhagavad Gita? Not Brahma Bhuta. That one. Bhakti or nahi? In Bhanumaras it is given. In Bhagavad Gita also it is said, तत्वतः गीतोक्ति भक्तिया कहाँ भक्ति है इधर? भक्ति है क्या इसका पास? Commentary it is there? It is there? Is there? Huh? Then that is only. What is that sloka? That sloka you should say. Tell that sloka full complete. Vishate tadanantaram. So initially, so he is doing this smaranam. That means dhyanam of the Paramatma. So that is the limb of the bhakti only. But there what? He is trying to get the love for him. That means, you see, with bhava, if you without bhava also, if you are now chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram 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 Hare, that means you don't have any bhava, but you are chanting, you are vibrating your tongue. It is bhakti or not? It is bhakti only. But if you, that means you are remembering the Krishna, you are always meditating on the Krishna. It is also bhakti or not? It is bhakti only. But by doing that, he is developing the attachment for the Lord. So that attachment he stops. So that means, so by using the smaranam technique, so dhyana means it comes under the smaranam only. So by that technique, he is knowing the Paramatma now, but the love is started coming, attachment is coming from him from that. So then that he stops. Then after that what? So he is next. What is the next line? So mam vishudar tato mam tattvatah gnatva. That means here, that's Vishwanath is also writing. So then he will be knowing what is Supreme Personality of Godhead. Then we should after that he enters into that. If we see the commentary of this, then also is good. Okay, we'll see that tomorrow. I didn't. Okay. That means in detail by referring the 27th chapter of the Kapal Gita, or otherwise this commentary also, there will be some steps are there. Okay. So here what we are seeing, there is one more point, Santarati point will be coming. Okay. Here two types. This practitioner without bhakti happens like this. And next, practitioner kevalayaiva bhaktya. So kevalayaya bhaktya abhyastaya shantaratim praptya bhagavad salokyam prapnoti. But someone, there is, that means this practitioner, he doesn't want to serve the Lord. That means he doesn't want to, that means for him bhakti is only a tool. Bhakti is only tool to get the liberation. That means bhakti is what? Is secondary for him in the first one case. Okay. So then he used it as a tool. Then he left what? He left, that means, so he left the devotion also, everything. So then that means whenever attachment is coming, he stopped that. That means what? He left the bhakti. So then at that person is coming to know, and he entered into him. So in that stage, he entered into him. So that is the one realization. Another realization is what? So this Paramatma is there and this practitioner, and now he is getting the attraction. Then after that, this attraction he will never stop. So by that, so he will be getting the Shantarati, but he is not developing any special service attitude. But if this person, this practitioner get the, so what that means, some kind, that means whenever such a devotees, that means who are the Dasya Bhaktas if he got, and he is meditating. Now in his bhava after seeing the Lord, if he get this service attitude also, then what will happen? He will go to the Vaikunta and there he will get service also. But if he didn't get the such a devotees, Santarasa devotees association he got, and then he will be getting the Santarasa and he will be going to, so in the Salokya, so in that means same planet and eternal. Just just he is in the peaceful mood. Okay, he's seeing like flute is a servant. Like this. Is a Kshirodaka Savishta. They will enter into the, they have to come out from the Brahmanda. No? So they will enter into the Karna no Savishta. That is same only. No? Karna no Savishta is also is nothing. They are not different. Brahman. A Brahman case is different actually. This is not Brahman. The Bhagavad Gita you see there. If they meditate on Brahman, and that is very even difficult. That is very difficult process. Yeah. Okay, see the purport. The Sanskrit, I will explain even little more information tomorrow. Okay. The Sanskrit word Vaisharadi means that which is derived from the expert. Perfect transcendental knowledge comes from everywhere in Bhagavad Gita. I will explain tomorrow, and the same concept you will be seeing everywhere. Even the 8th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, and also in the Kapil Devs, and also in the first canto 3rd chapter, and also here, and also in the 7th canto 7th canto last chapter is 15th chapter. 15th chapter, many places. Same concept, same philosophy. Chapter. No. Perfect transcendental knowledge comes from the expert spiritual master, and when such a knowledge is heard by the expert disciple, it curbs the waves of material illusion. Since the Lord's illusory energy acts eternally within the material world, there is no possibility of destroying illusion. One may here, however, destroy the presence of illusion within one's own heart. To accomplish this, disciple must become expert in pleasing the. Okay. As one advances to the perfectional stage of Krishna consciousness, experiencing the presence of the Lord everywhere, one's attention shifts to the transcendental platform. At the time, pure knowledge is itself, one's conscious technical awareness of illusion diminishes just as fire diminishes. Same it is given. Srila Madhvacharya has quoted from several Vedic scriptures to show the Maya, the material illusion, is just like a witch who always hunts the conditioned souls. Maya offers the conditioned souls whatever they like within these 3 modes of nature, but such offerings are all just like fire that burns the heart to ashes. Therefore, one must understand that material world is hellish place. Last, the real knowledge comes from the Vedas, or the Supreme Personality of Godhead, in his form of perfect wisdom. If we be taking complete shelter of the Lord, there will be no scarcity of pleasure. Because the Lord is a reservoir of all pleasure, and his devotees freely move within that reservoir. Okay, we'll see tomorrow remaining thing. Thank you very much. Tomorrow is a holiday for all of you, and we'll meet on Monday. Okay, and we'll see the more discussion, little bit more discussion, and then we'll move on. I need to speed up. Okay.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Exam on Sunday. Exam on Sunday. Class on Monday. Festival on Friday. Feast on Saturday. Exam on Sunday. Class on Monday. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.